Okay, so I'm just doing a little instant reaction to the Rockets' game one loss to Golden State Warriors. Ended up losing 95-85, and really what doomed them was their second quarter where they scored 13 points. Golden State scored 29, and honestly, outside of that one quarter, the Rockets outscored them in the first, outscored them in the third, only got outscored by one in the fourth. So pretty much that's where they lost the game in that second quarter, which was awful. So my instant reaction is I think this series, these two teams are a lot closer than probably how people are going to view it. Golden State got up really like a ton because that second quarter run and level of domination kind of carried into the third quarter, and then the Rockets really flipped the script and closed that third quarter and out really strong and did well to start the fourth. And I don't know if they really ran out of steam. It's just what runs are like. Runs go like this: you hit your shots, they don't hit their shots, and that just doesn't continue forever. So I don't know if they ran out of steam as much as just our when you go on a run, like the when the Warriors did it to the Rockets, when the Rockets did it to them, it's kind of a confluence of events. But some of my notes were I thought the Rockets actually started the game really, really, really well. I thought their defense looked really good, and I also think their defense looked really good this entire game. I mean, let's be real here. Golden State scored 95 points. Um, and they only got to 95 because Jimmy Butler and Steph Curry hit a bunch of tough shots, right? They went a combined 22 for 38 for a total of 56 points. And it wasn't like the defense breaking down is how they got those points. Obviously, that happened a few times. No defense is perfect all the time, but for the most part, they had to hit tough shots. They made them work, and great players hit tough shots. That's just kind of how it works. So I thought the Rockets' defense was great. I think they can take some solace in that. So keep doing what you're doing on the defensive end. The strategy was worked, and Curry and Jimmy aren't going to be this good every night. If they have an average night, there's a chance this game is still going on or that the Rockets won in regulation. So I think the defense was great. On offense, yeah, it's a problem. And look, there's schematic things I don't love about the Rockets play on offense. They tend to take forever to get in the sets. They do all this other stuff. But at the end of the day, Dylan Brooks was 3 of 9. Fred VanVleet was 4 of 19, 2 of 13 from 3 point range. Jalen Green was absolutely, utterly abysmal. He was 3 of 15, 0 of 4 from 3 point range, scored 7 points. He was awful. If VanVleet and Green play not or VanVleet didn't play poorly outside of the shooting, right? Like he's still a solid passer. He takes care of the ball very well, plays good defense. So he can contribute when the ball's not falling. Jalen Green not in the same degree, and they really need a shot creation because in that second quarter, when things got bogged down, they couldn't do anything. They just really need someone that could get the ball, create a little space, get a shot off, and he was just awful. Couldn't hit a shot from the outside. Got like even at the very end when they're basically Golden State was just giving them shots. He got a nice easy step in mid range jumper, shorted it a little bit, hit the front of the rim. And on his drives, man, his drives. Look, so I'm a Wizards fan. I remember prime John Wall, and one thing that used to piss me off about John Wall is he was so fast. He would just get ahead of steam and just fly at the basket and kind of dive towards the basket and hope to get bailed out by a foul or hit like a circus layup. But he wasn't that great of a finisher. He was athletic, so he could get there. Jalen Green was doing some of that. Now he wasn't diving forward like John Wall would do, where he extend his arm, kind of do a finger roll, but he was just jumping in, like he was just jumping into guys, and he wasn't getting the calls, and it was just bad. It was like watching. It was bad. It looked like a guy in their first playoff game, honestly. Some guys in their first playoff game, who I'm about to talk about, Alperen Sengun, looked great. Sengun was the only good part for the Rockets on offense for the most part. Um, Basically, their offense only productive things happened when he had the ball, unproductive things happened when he didn't touch it. There were times where, if he wouldn't touch the ball for the first 18, 20 seconds of the shot clock, they'd give it to him and it's just a grenade because he's on the perimeter as a post player. That's a grenade. He hit one insane three in a situation like that. He's forced into a jumper and another one. They've got to just give him a massive usage, I think. Or they should have done that more so in this game because he was the only guy that was able to create any sort of discomfort for the Warriors defense in the half court. He was awesome. So Şengün, fantastic game. I mean, 11 of 18, 26 points. He had 9 rebounds. He had 5 turnovers, but with what he was able to do in terms of scoring and creating, he only had 1 assist, but he could have had way more. Guys just like missed so many shots. I mean, towards the end of the game, he threw a nice pass to Tari Eason for like basically a layup, like an alley-oop layup, and Eason smoked it. Jabari Smith Jr. was, I thought, awful in the first half. I mean, he had 4 turnovers on the game, and I think 2 or 3 of them happened in the first half, and he looked lost. Like, he looked like he couldn't even dribble the ball. He lost, like, I think he had 2 turnovers trying to dribble and just lost it. He was really good in the second half. He hit his shots, got some big boards, played much better. So that's good. Eason's defense, always good. 3 of 10 from the field, 0 of 4 from 3-point range. Steven Adams, monster on the boards. That's one of the reasons why Şengün didn't get as many rebounds, because he played so many minutes with Adams. And when you play double big like that, sometimes one guy gets most of them, another guy doesn't. It's a zero-sum game. But both of them were awesome on the boards. So, and that was it. Like, they played 8 dudes, and they probably should have looked to try to get Aaron Holiday in there. Holiday is a pretty solid catch and shoot 3-point shooter, not a bad defender. I think he would have made sense to get some run. No one else am I like, how'd you not play him, right? Like, it's just Cam Whitmore's too much of a, I'm not gonna say a liability on defense, but he's not going to get the same level of execution against Golden State. You really need to execute, and their defense was executing. Like, I want to say this again, the Rockets defense was really good. So like, that's something you can take solace in. One thing I noticed that was interesting is that that second quarter disaster class happened right after they went to the double big lineup, and afterwards just like they couldn't get anything going. I'm not sure that I'm going to blame the double big for kind of throwing off the rhythm of the game for them on offense, but it was interesting that after it, they really struggled. They went back to it later and it looked fine. So hopefully that was just, a coincidence, right? Like, they went double big. They kind of didn't do as well as they had hoped. They kind of pulled the plug on it, and then shit hit the fan. So hopefully that's not something that's like a thing where it's like, oh, in this series coming out of that first double big look, they kind of just like their wiring gets fucked up and it takes them a while to readjust. This was a bad performance from many of the guys, right? Amen Thompson, played good defense. He'll do that. 4 of 9 from the field, 0 of 4 from the free throw line. 6 assists. He was like his scoring wasn't there. He wasn't as impactful as a cutter as you would have hoped, and that'll be something to monitor because they really need his defense, but they're also going to need some of his offense. He doesn't need to be Şengün level where he's scoring 20 points, but he needs to be a little bit better as a scorer, and he's going to get matchups that he can exploit, and that's why it's a little bit frustrating that he didn't have a better offensive night, because he was in matchups that he should be able to win, right? You go look at Şengün's night, and the efficiency 11 of 18 is really good. Amen Thompson 4 of 9, right? 4 of 9 is like almost 50%. If he hits one more shot, he had a good night. I still don't think he would have had a good offensive night just because the degree of difficulty is much different. He's not getting matched up with Draymond Green. He's not gonna get the same type of attention, and he's getting on Brandon Podziemski, he's getting on Steph Curry sometimes, and he's not taking advantage of that, and they need that. But the big take-home point is the Rockets can win this series straight up, even though it looks like they are from the 1930s playing basketball sometimes on offense. If Fred VanVleet and Jalen Green perform not even up to their level, just like not the worst you can possibly imagine. Like straight up, it felt like they didn't hit any shots. You don't need them to be great. You don't need them to be good. You just need them to be fine to just slightly below fine. And the Rockets win this game. And I think that's what kind of will suck if you're a Rockets fan. Maybe ends up costing them the series. Just that they should have won this game. They get normal performances out of, not even normal, like just not pathetic, right? Like not awful performances out of Van Vliet and Jalen Green. They get a little bit better offensive execution and finishing from Amon Thompson, Dylan Brooks, Tari Eason, and they win this game, right? They don't even, and the thing is, they didn't even need all of those things to happen to win this game. They just needed one or two of them to happen, and they win this game, right? It's one of those things I always say when you watch a basketball game, and it's amazing how when you're hitting your threes, like your offense looks so much better. You're like, it just, because one, you're scoring points, but like it forces the defense to like kind of decompress from the middle of the court, expand outwards, and it makes everything else easier. And just when you're not a good shooting team and the stated goal is, yeah, we're just going to concede the three because we don't think these guys can beat us from there. When that's working, it really cascades and can snowball out of control. And that kind of what happened to the Rockets in this game, just in general. The offensive rebounding was there. The rebounding in general was there. So yeah, I like there's positives from this in that, hey, the Rockets look like they can beat Golden State because the Golden State won by 10 in a game where Curry and Butler hit a bunch of really tough shots, right? You say, oh, well, they can get more shots. That's the thing. The Rockets are making it hard for them to get shots. And the shots they are getting, a lot of them are tough. And they hit a really high rate of them, which those guys can do. And like that's what makes great players great. They can get off shots even when it's tough. They can hit shots that are tough. But if the Rockets play this type of defense on those two guys every game, they're not going to be this efficient. They're not going to score this many points. And if I think that's a good sign. And, you know, once again, they held them to 95 points and those two guys played great. So the defense looks awesome. Şengün looked great. Will he be as efficient in other games? I don't know, but I thought his scoring obviously was really good, really diverse. He was winning one-on-one matchups, which is what they need from him, and unfortunately, they don't have enough guys that can do that right now. So that's good. He'll get more assists just because guys will fucking hit shots, right? Like when you're the only guy that fucking is efficient, like there's a reason your assist total is lower because you can only get assists if a guy hits a shot. No one else is really hitting shots. It's a little bit tougher. So that is that. In transition, the Rockets like would get transition opportunities and they fuck those up so consistently. So they can probably be better there. They weren't able to turn their offensive rebounds into easy buckets. That's sometimes random, but that's partially just the Warriors are going to pack the paint. They might not get the offensive rebound, but if everyone's in position, it's going to be tougher for the Rockets to just lay it in. And so when they were kicking out the three-point shooters and three-point shooters aren't hitting anything, it's those offensive rebounds aren't as costly for Golden State. So yeah, this is like, it sucks that they lost this game because they should have won this game. It wouldn't have taken an amazing performance on offense to win this game. And you can say, well, the defense is going to be there night in and night out, and maybe that's the case. But you want to win games when you play great on one end. And they didn't because they played basically outside of one guy pathetically on offense. Yeah. Let me see if there's any other notes I have. The Jabari, Tari, Amon, Şengün, Adams double big lineup with Curry still out there. Look, they've done that before in the regular season. I didn't expect them to go that big with Curry still out there, but they did. It didn't really work that well. I think they can't go that big. You need two guards out there if Curry's out there to defend him, but also just because he's out there and you want guys that you can, go at him one-on-one from the perimeter and like force him to work, because when you collapse a defense from the perimeter off the drive, that's when it's really easy to get offensive rebounds. So that would be something that I would say, like, not this series, maybe another series, that's fine, but not this one. And only you can go that big only when Curry's not out there. That would be, Coach Udoka. I hope you're listening. Let's see. I mean, the first quarter was great. I thought the Rockets actually just looked better than them. It was really, the refereeing was bad. It was really not favorable to the Rockets. It's not a conspiracy. It's just sometimes that's how it is. I guarantee people will bitch about it from the Rockets side. I guarantee they will point out stuff. I guarantee the officials will see it and they'll realize that we might have fucked up. There's two instances where basically they just gifted fouls to Golden State in two situations that would have been turnovers. One of them was Şengün's second foul in the first quarter, where he put his hand on Butler's hip and Jimmy kind of stepped out of bounds and they called a foul on Şengün. That's never a foul. The amount of contact he made it's totally within the realm of what is allowed. And so that should have been a turnover. Instead, it's foul on Şengün. So that's a huge swing. Another one, Curry threw the ball out of bounds and then ran into Fred VanVleet and just they called a foul on VanVleet. And I was like, well, okay. So yeah, and those were just two instances, but there are other ones where it kind of just felt like the benefit of the doubt was being given to Golden State, and they missed an out of bounds call late in the game, and the Rockets had lost their challenge on a call where they challenged a blocking foul on Amen Thompson, and apparently wasn't an illegal guarding position. But if you look at it, he's his feet are set. He's there. He's set before Podziemski leaves his feet. I don't understand what's a charge, what's a block. It's because it probably doesn't matter. It felt like one of those things where when you watch it, it's yeah, this seems like a charge, and they're no. So that was bad. Let's see. Yeah, that's pretty much all I got in this instant reaction to this game. I picked the Rockets in 5, and obviously them losing game 1 at home is not making that prediction look so hot. But I still think I was right in thinking that the Rockets are a better team, and I believe that Golden State's going to need Jimmy and Steph to be really good in the same game. I think for them to beat the Rockets, and they got that in game 1. And then on top of that, the Rockets shit the bed on offense. So if you're a Rockets fan, you should be confident that you guys can get back and win this series. And if you're a Golden State Warriors fan, you should be pleased that you stole a game. Fundamentally, you probably stole this game because your two best players played great and the other team just couldn't do anything on offense. Partially to their limitations, partially due to their scheme. I don't love the Rockets' offensive scheme all the time, and just how static it can be and how little they make the defense do anything. There's just not enough screening on the ball, off the ball, movement, you name it. They could be doing way more. But so Golden State stole this game, which is good for them. Stole a game on the road. But if you're a Warriors fan and you're thinking this is going to be a cakewalk, you need to take a look at the likelihood of the Rockets shooting this bad again, which is basically 0%. It could happen, but I just think even a bad offensive team is going to be more efficient than this. And yeah. So this is going to be a series. It's going to be a crazy series, fun series. I'm so confident the Rockets are going to win it because from this game, I'm this is the better team. They don't have the two best players, but they are the better team, top to bottom, and they showed that. And I'm very impressed with the defense. I'm very Curry and Jimmy just hit shots. It's fucking annoying to watch it if you're rooting against it because the defense is good and they just hit a fucking shot. And it's what are you supposed to do? That's what great players do. And the Rockets, Şengün hit shots too. So, they have a guy who can do that. They just need someone else to do that occasionally, not all the time, not for 4 quarters, but occasionally, and they'll be fine. Yeah, I think they need to get Şengün more involved, or at least that game they should have. That'd be the only thing I would say. It's just if your guards are going to be that ineffective, you just need to give it to your best offensive player. Let him cook. I don't care about the efficiency because his efficiency could go down, but if it's better than what everyone else was doing, and it'll lead to easier looks for guys playing off of it, right? I don't think Amen had a great game cutting. Now I think Golden State probably is prepared for that, but there's points to be had for the Rockets. All right, so this is I'm gonna wrap it up around 20-minute mark. This is my instant reaction to the Rockets and Golden State Warriors game 1. Golden State won 95-85, and the game 2 will be a must win for the Rockets. And oh yeah, the series doesn't start until the home team loses. So this series has started officially. One of 2 series. What was the other one? What was the other one? It's in the West. Oh yes, Timberwolves beat the Lakers. So good night.